Welcome to this demo of tiCrypt. In this video, we're going to look at the tiCrypt Vault. tiCrypt is software to work with sensitive data, and it consists of three pieces, three parts: the Vault, the virtual machines, and the administrator tools. The Vault is much like Google Drive. It reminds me that I made a typo last time. Just like in Google Drive, you can upload files and then share them with other people. In tiCrypt, we also have groups of other people. So users are individual users. Users will be able to access their own files. Groups are groups of users. These are cryptographically isolated, so being in one group doesn't mean you can read files of another group, even if you have access to the backend. So the encryption is end-to-end. The encryption and the decryption happens in the user's browser before it touches the server. So the Vault, we'll take a closer look soon. Here is where the files go. I currently have a blank sheet here. The virtual machines are in this tab here, a place to create drives or to remove drives, and a place to create VMs, attach drives, and work with the VMs. With the virtual machines, you can install whatever software you would need, and you can transfer files from your Vault into the virtual machines. You can use RDP or you can use terminals to work with the virtual machines. So here it shows me that I have like a file here on my home folder. The administrator tools on this test server, demo server, I'm a super admin, so I can do a lot of management here behind the scenes on users. Users are part of teams. That's for resource allocation. Resources can be tagged as a project. That gives additional access control. The management of the virtual machines. Slurm is a batch processing software that's integrated. Escrow is our mechanism to restore lost private keys. When a new user gets added to the system, their private key gets cut into three pieces and sent to different groups of users that can later on piece it together and restore a private key. And some additional settings there. So my Vault is empty. I can upload files or folders. I'm uploading a PDF. PDFs are supported in the sense that I can double-click and view the PDF without downloading it. We're currently working on support for editing Word and Excel files. Likewise, I can make new folders and upload into that. Drag and drop is also supported. Right, in this case, my folder just holds a single file, but if it were to hold many subfolders, then that would work as well. Sharing a file can be done through Manage Share. Let's say I want to share with Aline. I can set the expiry of the share or disable it altogether. There's also some limitations on what the other users can do. Users can be combined into groups, and sharing with a group can also be done with drag and drop. So I'm sharing with a group like this. I can also do that with a Manage Share. Resources can be tagged with a project. So when I tag this folder with a project, and the properties of that project will apply to the resource. So the resource being a group or a file or a folder. For example, I can still download this file, but for CUI data that would not be good. Because as soon as CUI touches the hard disk of a user or can touch the hard disk of a user, that endpoint would be in scope for compliance purposes, which kind of defeats the purpose of a VDI system. I have an empty folder here, my new folder. I can set that up also as a Dropbox, meaning outsiders being able to drop files into my vault. We support FTP, which is not installed on this demo system, and URLs. I can set an expiry, how long it can take for a person to upload, some constraints about the size, and that turns it into a Dropbox. That URL can then be shared, this is the URL, through an email or another way to say, you know, dear user, here's the link for you to drop some information onto our system. And that's only, that's a one-way, right? So the external people cannot see what is in your vault. They can only add to the vault. So I'm visiting the link here. So there's a place to have like a private message here as well. And this is basically a place to drag and drop files. So here I'm dropping a file here, and as soon as that says that it's been uploaded, it's also here. All right, so it's the functional diagram of tiCrypt. And so we've seen the vault here. That's part of the front end. In the next recording, we're going to look at virtual machines, how they can be used. Technically speaking, the front end makes a tunnel through the backend server that tunnels into the virtual machine. And the virtual machine can have software, we call them bricks, so virtual machine bricks can have different operating systems and different resources attached to them, different software installed. Right, so that's a way, and that's end-to-end encrypted, where only the user that creates or has access to the virtual machine is allowed to use it. The virtual machines are otherwise all disconnected from the outside. But that's for the next movie.